Let us start. Going to continue. Yeah, that's the last save, right? Yeah. Okay, so we'll load that one. You've got dads. I love that. Let's see. What are these messages? Are you up to anything tonight? Oh, it's gonna be like a group thing. Hugo and I were planning to go to the art walk downtown, and we're wondering if you would care to accompany us. I would normally write a letter longhand, but I've run out of distressed parchment paper. That's funny. Whoa, why can't I see Damien and Hugo's chat? Am I a hacker? But I don't even have a hacker alias. The feds are gonna bust down my door any minute. I've gotta destroy this computer. John, this is a group chat. Oh, thank God. Do either of you guys know how to destroy a computer? You can run Derek's boot and nuke. Oh my God. Boot and nuke from a startup flash drive. But once you've done that, it's best to physically destroy the platters altogether. Um, the Victorians were well versed in secret security or information security. He's fed up. He's like, John, do you want to see smart or not? Art is good. Let's go see art. Gotta move my mic a second. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. Make sure to sweep under a tent so you don't sleep on rocks. I mean, that's smart. Some of these go by too fast. I'm like, I didn't read that. I'm sure that was a good dad tip, but I have no idea what it said. Damien and Hugo invited me to the monthly art walk in downtown Maple Bay. I've never really been to one of those before, so I'm not quite sure what I'm in for. I think I'm here a bit early. I don't see Damien or Hugo around anywhere, and I feel just a little uncomfortable standing among all these fancy art people. John? I turn around. It's Joseph. Joseph, what are you doing here? Joseph scoffs at me. What am I doing here? How could you ask me that? I'm obviously a huge art, appreciate, appreciatist. Okay, fine. Damien invited me to this art walk thing. I'm guessing he invited you too? Yep. Admittedly, a little out of my depth here. Thank God. I thought I was gonna be the odd one out. Are you allowed to say that? Say what? You know. Thank God. Yep. I actually get double points when I say that since I'm a minister. The points get you into heaven. That's how it works. Anyway, where are the guys? I look and spot Hugo and Damien who seem to have just arrived at the gallery. Good eve, good eve, good eve. Evening, friends. Who's ready for some art? I have no idea what I'm in for. Art is dead and nothing is real. Oh my gosh. Same. All you have to know is that if you're ever feeling overwhelmed, there's generally always a table that has free wine and cheese. This sounds like my kind of event. We have art, we have wine and cheese. I'm with it. Let's go. I like art now. Same. I've got the table in my sights. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to help myself to tiny some tiny wines. Talk art with Hugo and Damien. Yeah, let's do that. Because we're trying to get close to Damien, our Victorian goth man. So, what's this first place? This particular artist specializes in landscape paintings of various locales within the American Northeast. I look at the art. It is rad art. At the risk of sounding uninformed, do all of these landscapes look like butts to you guys? Damien and Hugo lean in, examining the paintings in earnest. It would appear as if you are correct. Valid assessment, John. Hey, this art stuff's pretty easy. Oh, it gets more complicated. Sometimes the butts are more symbolic. Sometimes the butts are metaphors. Sometimes art is about the butts they don't draw. Interesting. Joseph returns to our group with tiny cheese and wine. What'd I miss? Butts? Shame. The cheese is nice, though. Shall we visit the next place? We leave the first gallery and walk a few minutes before we reach another one. The gallery's a bit more crowded. Huge paintings of, I'm not even sure, hang on the walls. Oh geez. What am I looking at here? This is abstract art. I think the more important question is, what does this art mean to you? I stare at the painting, concentrating as hard as I can on its meaning. It's a metaphor for the human condition. It reminds me of my childhood. It represents strife. It's a butt. Let's sound a little more cultured. But without seeing this painting myself, I can't even begin to guess at what this we could like even guess this art could be. So let's go with it. Reminds me of my childhood, I guess. The gestures, the color, they remind me of my childhood, of my parents. Intriguing that you discover something so personal in an image so non-specific, John. May I ask you to say a little more? Just kidding, it's a but, so they still give us time to save ourselves. But no, let's be intellectual. Certainly. These vivid, simple forms communicate oh my gosh, I can read. Klaus, please stop. A solemnity. Maybe I can't read. Maybe I lied. Communicate a solemnity. I can't say that word. But yeah, that is betrayed by the raw expressiveness of the brushwork, which in a way speaks to the essential nature of of human experience. Note to self, do not play this game when you're tired. You won't be able to read anything. The scars left by the passage of time and the turmoil of contemporary life are both contextualized and deepened by the rose-colored echoes of pre-Oedipal consciousness. Slow down there, John. Do us a favor and keep it simple. It's a but. Everyone else stares at the painting. Yeah, that's definitely a but. While a valid assessment, I can't help feeling your initial judgment may be closer to the artist's intentions. Maybe you're underestimating how much the artist liked butts. You are a servant of the Lord. We're all God's creatures, even butts. Comparing this piece to the artist's body of work, I'm pretty sure this represents the sense of isolation he feels creating traditionally abstract artwork in a field that's rapidly moving towards digitalism. Wow. How'd you figure that out? That's what it says on the placard. Oh. Let's look at a few more of these. We walk around the gallery, sampling some more of the artist's work. I almost hate to say it, but abstract art is kind of growing on me. It's interesting that the artist chooses not to let their work be defined by, what's the word? Realism? Realism. As we're looking at one of the paintings, a patron scoffs loudly. Psh, I could do that. Excuse me? Hugo, not here. No, come back here. The patron walks away, not noticing Hugo fuming right next to them. You say you could do that, but you didn't. You don't seem to have the intellectual depth or the artistic skill to execute a piece even a fraction as impressive as this one. Art is the truest expression of the self, and it seems like your self is bad, so your art would be bad. Hugo's insult game isn't the best, but there's no denying his passion. Damien is holding him back at this point. Friend, he's not worth it. Hugo manages to cool down. He smooths his jacket. I'm sorry, I just love art very much. We know, buddy. I pat Hugo on the shoulder. You know what would ease the mood? Is it cheese? No. It's wine and cheese. Co-signed. The four of us head over to the wine and cheese table, which thankfully is grounded in realism and is actual wine and cheese. We got one last stop on the tour. You lot feeling up for it? Is it gonna be any weirder than this art? It is absolutely weirder than this art. Let's do it. Damien, Hugo, and Joseph and I walk over to a performance in the street. Several masked performers in leotards undulate wildly on the ground, screaming both at each other and us. So, quick question. Shoot. What is happening? I second this question. Performance art. What does that mean? Again, I pose the very same question to you, Mr. Valen. Fear of existence, the fear of the very humanity of being human. They really like screaming. No more buts. We're not doing buts. Okay, what about the very humanity of being human? What do you think they're trying to say? I believe it's less about what they're saying and more about why they're saying it. I think there's something special about performance art. With almost every other form of art, music, painting, photography, the artist uses their medium as a conduit for their emotions. With performance art, the medium is the artist. It's the purest expression of raw human emotion. It's art as catharsis. That's beautiful, Damien. So what you're saying is, if I start making really loud fart noises right now, it's art, as long as I, really mean it? Damien fixes him with a hard stare. I was gonna start making fart noises, but based on the look on your face, that joke isn't gonna play well with this crowd. Wise. We watch the rest of the performance as earnestly as we can and clap politely after the dancers scream their way off stage. I think I'm all art out. Agreed. We all decide to walk home together. We make our way back to the cul-de-sac, tiny wine and tiny cheese sloshing around in my stomach. I think what I've learned tonight, and not just what I've learned about art, which was nice and extremely informative, but what I've learned tonight is that when you put a bunch of tiny wine and tiny cheese together, it eventually becomes regular wine and regular cheese, followed by too much wine and too much cheese. The tiny cheese lulled me into a false sense of security. I felt safe with the tiny cheese. Wax wings too close to the sun. Cheese wings? Who would melt in the sun? Those would melt in the sun too. And I feel like it's more appropriate imagery. Plus, it's delicious. Nice Emmentaler. Yeah. A nice Emmentaler, possibly. Hey, if you guys were painters, what would you paint? I actually dabble in oils. I mostly paint landscapes. I'm not very good, but it's a nice way to pass time. I think I would focus on personal portraits of people in unique professions. Like, for example, lucadors? What is a lucador? I think I'd paint boats, seascapes, maybe some lighthouses, mostly boats. Really? Yeah, I'm surprised you're choosing boats in favor of a long history of religious imagery in artwork. What? Boats are cool. What about you, John? Food artistry, landscapes, tasteful nudes of the artist. Oh, that's funny. Let's do food artistry. I would probably do still lives of various foods, bowls of fruit, maybe some bread in there. Would there be cheese involved? See, I thought about that, and no, I can't stare at a pile of cheese for 8 hours without eating some of it, and that would ruin the whole thing. Excellent point. We finally get to the cul-de-sac. All right, boys. Good art. Good art. Agreed. See you guys around? Whether you want to or not, we're all neighbors after all. I head inside to deal with my inevitable cheese over. Okay, let's see what Craig messaged us. Hey, buddy, so I have a favor to ask. Robert invited me over for dinner. And I know it's kind of a faux pas to invite another bro, but I've known the guy for years and I still can't get a good read on him. And I know it's going to be super awkward if I go by myself. Will you please come with me? I love food. I especially love food that's free. And I don't know why you're so sweaty over cooking, but sure. Yeah, dude, I'm down. Thank you. I really hope that's a sweat of relief. Eat that dinner. That doesn't sound too bad. I could definitely go for the free food. But why is Craig being so apprehensive? Does he know something about Robert that I don't? I hurry up and reply before my dad brain can work itself into a paranoia spiral. Yeah, dude, I'm down. Craig and I decide to meet up before heading over to Robert's place. Craig's waiting on my porch, bottle of wine in hand. John! Boy, I'm glad to see you. Likewise, man. Classy of you to bring wine. Sorry. Oh, it's not wine, it's sparkling apple cider. Robert literally has a wine cellar, so I think he's good. Whoa. Or at least I think he has a wine cellar. I'm genuinely unsure if he was telling the truth or not. I can never tell with him. Thank God it's not just me. I never know. He's so deadpan about everything. I usually just laugh it off, but man, that guy's an enigma. We start walking over to Robert's house. Does Robert even know how to cook? I have sincere doubts about whether he even knows how to shave properly or iron his shirts. I feel like you learn to cook after you learn those two first. One time I saw him grab a hot dog from a trash can. I mean, it was at the very top of the trash can, like sitting above it, but still. If he were on trial, I think the jury would define that as in the trash. In his defense, I've definitely considered grabbing food from the top of a trash before. Well, yeah, I think we've all considered it, but the difference is that Robert actually did it. True. Maybe he's the enlightened one. Maybe we're holding ourselves back. We arrive at Robert's house and ring the doorbell, but the doorbell won't chime. Must be broken. Craig knocks on the door a few times. Since when does Robert have a dog? I don't know. That's weird. I can hear Robert just inside. 1 second. This is uncharted territory, John. What if he's the one making barking noises and there is no dog? Don't say that. We're not even inside yet. Finally, the door opens. Robert looks a little surprised to see me. John, didn't know you'd be tagging along. Did Craig not tell Robert I was coming? Come on, Craig. I can leave if there's not... No, it's fine. Come on in. We enter Robert's living room, which is surprisingly really nice. Super messy, but still really nice. Make yourselves at home. We can still hear barking from the other room. I didn't know you had a dog, Robert. Oh yeah, that's Betsy. Have to put her up when guests are over. She'll calm down in a bit. What kind of dog is she? Pitbull. Rescued her from the dogfighting ring a few years back. She hates strangers. If I let her out right now, I would probably have to take you both to the ER. Craig and I make eye contact. He raises an eyebrow at me. Oh, okay. Anyways, dinner should be ready in a minute. Hope you guys like osso buco. Robert leaves the room, presumably to go to the kitchen. Craig leans in and whispers, was the dog fighting thing real, or was he kidding? I don't know. What's osso buco? I don't know. Did he make up that word? Until I have osso buco in front of me, we can only assume so. We sit in silence for a second, talking in Robert's living room. Are we about to get sawed? Nah, usually you wake up in those situations. We voluntarily walked into this one. Robert finally walks into the room, carrying 3 paper plates of steaming food like a waiter. I don't have a dining table. Don't trust them. So we're eating here. I also don't have real plates. Hope that's okay. Robert sets plates in front of us on the coffee table. I still can't tell what it is. Looks like meat. Maybe. Lots of sauce. I can make out some vegetables. I think that might be rice, but it could also be pasta. Guess there's only one way to find out. I take a bite. Oh my god. I take another bite. The medley of flavors in the dish is amazing. The meat is so tender, and the risotto, I think that's what it is so creamy. Robert, this is really incredible. You cooked this? I fished it out of the dumpster behind a restaurant. Or at least I think it was a restaurant. Can you believe people just throw this stuff away? I almost gag. I'm kidding. I look over at Craig, who looks wary but still has a mouthful. He gives Robert a thumbs up. Glad you like it. Where'd you learn how to cook like this? Worked at a restaurant in Spain for a hot sec. Is he messing with us? I decide to play along. You lived in Spain? After I dropped out of college, I went backpacking through Europe, crashing on couches, sleeping in hostels, wherever, totally broke. Worked a couple odd jobs wherever I could scrape together some cash. One night, I'm eating dinner at this little restaurant just outside of Madrid. I go to pay and realize I spent the last of my money on booze the night before. I'm in the middle of ditching when the manager catches me and puts me to work in the kitchen. Long story short, they ended up liking me so much they offered me a job. Why not, right? Started living with some distant relatives on my ma's side. Over the course of 2 years, I worked my way up from busboy to sous chef and learned a lot. Craig and I waited for the punchline. What night watchman did he swindle to get back to the States? Who did he con and a game of poker in the back room of a speakeasy for safe passage in the crew quarters of a cargo ship? Anyway, I still love to cook. I don't know what's real anymore, but this food's so good, I kind of don't care. That's amazing. It really is. To be totally honest, I wasn't exactly expecting gourmet cooking here, especially not served on paper plates. I don't care about presentation. If the food is good, it should speak for itself. This ossobuco is screaming for itself. And paper plates are just as good as regular plates if you double them up. Hey, is it bad if I ask for seconds? Help yourself, but save room for dessert. I made lemon berry sovereign. I want that. It sounds good. Oh, well, aren't you just full of... Craig looks over at me. Surprises. Robert winks. Ooh, does Robert have a thing for him? You bet I am. You can come over for dinner anytime. Oh, all right. I see you, Robert and Craig. All right. Craig. He's like, I'm specifically saying that to Craig. Not to Craig and John. To Craig. He said no more uninvited people. I'm gonna go get seconds. Me too. After consuming way more ossobuco than my body could ever could handle, then really ensuring a later food coma with a generous serving of whatever sovereign was, Craig and I decide to head out. Thanks for coming. I'm making an attempt to be more social. Well, we're always happy to stop by if you want company, especially if there's ossobuco involved. Okay, now we can finally hopefully get past date 1 for Damien. Now we can actually go down the route I've been trying to go down. I mean, this is also partially my fault. This could have gone by a lot faster had I not insisted on doing first dates on at least all of the dads before I picked a route. But, I mean, how can he properly decide on a dad when he hasn't, spent time with all of them? I had a lot of fun hanging out with Damien the other day. I wonder what he's up to. I open up Dad Book and start writing him a message when Amanda walks in the door. Dad, you got a letter. Oh, is it from Grandma? No, it's from Damien. Whoa, can I see it? Amanda hands me a piece of old parchment, folded into an envelope and sealed with purple wax. Damn, the Duke goes all out. I pry off the seal and unfold the letter. In the most beautiful calligraphy, the letter reads, Dearest John, I hope you'll find my continued correspondence endearing rather than trying. One can only hope that my use of the slower, more traditional form of communication will showcase my sincere and earnest sentiment that I greatly enjoyed our time together. I write this hastily under the warm embrace of excitement, fearful that I may misstep and speak toward something unwelcome. For now, I hope that you might forgive my boldness. I will simply say that your company has greatly occupied my thoughts. While the afternoon may have been derailed by forces unforeseen, your companionship helped a great deal not only in the discipline of my child, in the morale of my spirit, and for that I thank you. That said, John, if you'll allow me, it would mean the world to me if I could enjoy more of your time. Perhaps a trip to the cinema followed by a moonlit stroll would be of your taste. I eagerly await your response. With great respect, D. Bloodmarch. I love that. Amanda and I both look up from the letter. Wow. He's good. So you gonna catch a movie with him? Yeah, I better message him on Dadbook and let him know. Amanda slaps my laptop shut. You have to write him back. A real letter. But my handwriting looks like two toddlers fighting over a crayon. Dad, you have to. He wrote you a letter. That's so cool. Will you help me? I need to class this up. Father, I was made for this. Here's what you do. Find tickets to a show that you two will like, then enclose them in the letter. Oh, that's classy. Amanda and I hop on my laptop and peruse showtimes. He doesn't seem like a romantic comedy kind of guy. Oh, here's one. Vampire Crusade 2? Evil Never Dies. I don't know, that sounds kind of stupid. Actually, it's critically acclaimed exploration into the ennui of existence. It really turns the vampire trope on its head. Really? Nah, there's just a lot of blood and vampire titties. Oh my god. This girl, I love. Well, let's roll the dice. I purchase the tickets and print them out. Then sit down at the table with Amanda to try drafting a nice letter. I start writing. Damien, I hope that this letter finds you in good health. Good one. What's next? Where your son tried to cask of Amontillado. Okay, let's not remind him about the time his son tried to cask of Amontillado that kid. I must confess of my amateur control of the written word. Yes. Geez, Dad, have some faith in yourself. Okay, we're trucking along. Let him know how you're feeling. You find me in good spirits, for I felt very much the same after our last encounter. I did very much enjoy the adventure we found ourselves in on the last we met. Yeah. Not bad. Good action-y sentence. Ask him to hang out already. True art takes time, Amanda. While a strange turn of events, I found myself enamored of the situation at hand. Like Bruegel's landscape with the fall of Icarus, I find myself lost in your details. Aww. I wish I could put both of them. Like, can I put them both? Dad, whoa. I saw it on TV. I am not an actually intelligent person. Bring it home, Pops. Let me take you out. I got 2 tickets to the movies. I would very much enjoy your company accompanying me to the cinema. It would bring me great pleasure to escort you to the cinema. I feel like this middle one's kind of more him, because I've made him so, like, dad punny and stuff. So... but do we try to just lay it on thick, though, to ensure that we land our vampire dream daddy? Let's go with that one. Saved it there at the end. I'm sure he'll appreciate your thoroughness. Enclosed, you'll find 2 tickets to the Vampire Crusade 2, Evil Never Dies, which I'm sure you will find both titillating and enjoyable. Best wishes. Hard daps. Oh no. Namaste. We'll carry on. Best wishes. And then I signed my name. My full name. Fancier that way. John Phelan. Is this okay? Amanda reads over my sloppy handwriting. Damien, I do hope this letter, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I read it in the choices, so you know what it says. But yeah. Best wishes, John Phelan. You spelled his name wrong. What? Nah, just trying to keep you on your toes. Now all you have to do is seal it and put it in the mailbox. Can I seal it with tape? That's not authentic enough. I have an idea. I'll be right back. Amanda leaves the room and returns with a candle, a lighter, and a small piece of wood. Gotta have a wax seal. She lights the candle. When it starts to burn down and form a pool of melted wax. What's the other thing? Amanda pours some of the wax on the folded letter and expertly presses the small piece of wood onto it. She lets it dry for a second and pulls the wood away, revealing... Here it is, your sigil. Yeah. A little kitten with a bow on its head. Awesome. Scrapbooking stuff always comes in clutch. Well, I guess all there is to do is to deliver it to his doorstep now, huh? Oh, I thought we were getting a carrier pigeon to do it. I already called my guy. I have a pigeon guy. Marcus has the good pigeons. Don't get your pigeons from Anthony. They're no good. I don't want to know if any of this is true. I head outside and walk over to Damien's house. I slip the letter into the slot in his door and go back home. Mission accomplished. Now we play the waiting game. The night finally rolls around where I am supposed to meet Damien. The next day, he had left another beautifully crafted letter thanking me for mine and agreeing to the evening. Amanda helps me pick out a nice outfit, and I show up to the theater a little early. It's a chilly night and the theater is kind of crowded, but it's still nice. How do you do? I jump at the sound of his voice and turn around to see Damien right behind me. You almost gave me a heart attack. How long were you there for? I don't know. I just walked up. My apologies for frightening you. Was that thunder? Is it gonna rain soon? I didn't hear anything. What? What? Regardless, the hour grows close. Shall we take our seats in the cinema? I must thank you again for purchasing our tickets. Please allow me to repay you the deed in Sour Patch Kids, or perhaps Milk Duds. Let's do it. We get in line to buy snacks. As we're waiting, I hear a familiar voice behind us. Ugh, my dad is here. I turn around to find Lucien standing a few feet behind us with a gaggle of other goth kids. Lucien, how nice to see you. I didn't know you were coming to the theater. I'm so glad to see you spending some quality time with your friends. Whatever, Dad. And what movie will you be attending tonight? My friends are making me see some kids' movie about talking animals. I don't really care about it. Well, I do hope you enjoy your evening. We'll be watching Vampire Crusade 2, Evil Never Dies. You? Watching that? Yeah, I thought Damien would enjoy it. Good luck with that, Dad. Lucien rejoins his friends and I look over to Damien. Good luck with what? It's nothing. My son loves to tease. We wait in line for a little longer and Damien buys us snacks. He seems a little nervous. I wonder what's wrong. Damien and I take our seats and settle in for the previews. Glancing at him, I can see that he's sweating profusely and gripping his armrest. Is everything okay? Everything's perfectly fine. I'm so excited for this film. I'm a devoted patron of the arts, especially the scary arts. The scarier the art, the better. Do you have a favorite horror movie? I, of course, I have a favorite horror movie. Mine is Halloween Town. Terrifying. Oh, interesting. That's odd. I don't remember Halloween Town being that scary. I would have expected him to bring up some sort of strange foreign horror film that I've never heard of. Damien's knuckles are turning white. It looks like he's about to rip off the armrest. Wait a second. Damien, are you afraid of horror movies? You must be joking. I love horror movies. The lights are dim for the film. Damien screams. I apologize. I was thinking about something far scarier than this movie, which isn't scary at all. We settle in as the film starts. I offer Damien some licorice and he takes one. I take note of how much his hands are shaking. The title flashes across the screen in bloody letters. Vampire Crusade 2. Evil Never Dies. A pale man with long silver hair, glittering red eyes, and well-oiled abs sits up in a coffin. Awaken, my coven. Two more vampires slide the tops of their stone coffins onto the floor. Brother, is it time? Yes, husband, but also mortal enemy, it is time. The three look at each other and then to the camera. For the Vampire Crusade. This rules. The trio of vampires flies off into the night as foreboding organ music plays in the distance. I somehow get lost in the movie. As dumb as it sounded, is actually a pretty fun flick. We get to a tense moment in the movie where Romulus Trueblood sits at a truce meeting with the general of a human army, whose wife Romulus has fallen in love with. Romulus, oh my gosh, it is good to finally meet you. General, I agree. It's good to finally blood you. What? Romulus leaps out and slashes the general's throat. Blood splatters over everything, including the camera. Damien screams again, reflexively grasping my hands. Oh! I immediately blush, forgetting about any vampires or blood or vampiric blood. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Damien retracts his hand and places it back on his lap. I was writing a novel in my head about blood magic and I got to an extremely scary section. Damien goes back to quietly stressing out over the movie. It's kind of cute that he won't admit that he's afraid of it. I wish he would hold my hand again. Maybe I could do something to try to make him feel more comfortable. I've got it. I'll do what all dads do best. Talk during the movie. I don't know. What would make him feel better? Telling a dad joke? Pointing out a plot hole? Ask what's happening? Let's ask what's happening. Oh, that did not work. That was not good. Wait, what's happening? I believe Carmela is trying to kidnap the general's son, but the son is also her cousin, and there's a werewolf for some reason. Which one's Carmela? She's Demetrius's wife rival, I think. Great, he's confused. Going for the kill. This movie doesn't make any sense because I'm not paying attention and therefore it's bad. Right, yes. The rest of the movie goes by relatively smoothly, with only a few whimpers from Damien. Maybe he would have liked the romantic comedy better. We get to the final scene of the movie where Romulus Badblood and the general's wife embrace each other in his crypt. It It appears that the true vampire crusade was the vampire crusade in our hearts, our cold, unbeating hearts. Romulus and the general's wife began making out. Hard. The film fades to black and the end appears on the screen. But then it hard cuts to Demetrius and his rival lover, Carmela, who watch the two from afar. Oh no. Twist ending. Our bloodline has been pure for thousands of years. Romulus has betrayed us by loving a human woman. It will only be a short time before the next Vampire Crusade 3. Evil must die again. More thunder, more ominous organs. The music fades out again, and bloody question mark now accompanies the end. Damien and I walk out of the movie theater amidst throngs of chattering moviegoers. He's a little more pale than I remember, but otherwise he survived the encounter. He even seems kind of invigorated. What an interesting film! While the premise admittedly struck me as pedestrian, I was intrigued by its harrowing love story and great attention to detail in regards to vampiric lore. Yeah, it was pretty good. A lot more vampire titties than I thought there would be. Come, the night is young. Let's take a stroll. Damien is making a point of not telling me where he's taking me. Still, I'm enjoying the walk and the cool night air. Being alone here with Damien is a lot better than being in a crowded theater. Lovely night, isn't it? As lovely as the company, yes. He thinks I'm lovely. Damn. Okay. Here comes the smooth response. Oh. None of these are smooth. Let's go with thanks. No problem. Crushed it. We both stand there, feeling a little awkward. I sure am one smooth operator. Are you getting a little hungry? We could maybe stop off and grab something to eat. Worry not, friend. I've a plan. We turn the corner and are greeted by the gates of a cemetery? What? Are we going in there? A little bit of a Victorian flavor, John. Trust me. I'm a bit nervous, but Damien hasn't led me wrong yet. I follow his lead as we walk into the cemetery. Statues of angels stare down at us as we follow the path through the faded tombstones. As we crest a small hill, we get a beautiful view of the city. The night lights sparkle around us. I gotta hand it to him. For being in a cemetery, this is strangely romantic. Picnicking in graveyards is an old Victorian tradition, an appropriate finish to an evening after a vampire movie, wouldn't you say? With a flourish, Damien produces a blanket and picnic basket. Wait, where were you hiding that? Under my cloak? Oh, right. Damien unfolds the blanket and we both sit down. Gazing out on the city lights, he produces a bottle of red wine and a fine selection of cheeses. In the Victorian era, there were no public art galleries, parks, or botanical gardens to speak of. Once rural gravestards became a more popular alternative to church burials, they became the only place that people could go see beautiful plant life and fine sculptures. That makes sense. This is pretty nice. I have a question though. How are you so okay with being in a graveyard, but you had trouble handling a scary movie? I wasn't He sighs deeply. Okay, yes, I was extremely scared by that movie. I was not writing a book about blood magic in my head. I just have never been good at those. I just feel as if because of how I look and act, people expect me to love horror films, so I must play the part. Truth be told, I don't know if I have the constitution for them sometimes. Damien, I'm so sorry. If I had known, I would have suggested another movie. It's quite alright. I actually did find myself enjoying this one, thanks to your help. Graveyards, however, I think there is something rather beautiful about death. Cemeteries are traditionally built away from cities, away from the realm of the living, and it keeps us rather separated from it. To acknowledge death and become comfortable with it, I think gives us a certain intimate knowledge of ourselves. To sit amongst generations of those who came before us, to be truly alive in the midst of so much death, brings me great comfort. Death helps me appreciate life, to savor every second. We sit and enjoy our food and wine. I don't feel scared anymore. Never thought I'd be comfortable sitting alone in a graveyard at night, but I actually feel very peaceful. Suddenly, it doesn't seem like we're alone. Off in the distance, I see a shadowy figure in the trees. What is that? I'm not sure. It notices us. I'm paralyzed with fear as it begins lumbering slowly toward us, its shape taking a more animal form, more feral. I look to Damien for help, but he's just as afraid and transfixed as I am. I want to scream, but it's stuck in my throat. The creature is getting closer, moving faster. Woof! Oh, it's a dog. As it finally comes into the light, the friendliest, dumbest little Boston Terrier I've ever seen pulls its owner towards us. The dog trots over to Damien and sniffs at his hand. Damien looks ecstatic. He ruffles the dog's fur happily. What a beautiful dog! Hey! We both look up, not expecting to see. Thanks. Robert, what are you doing out here on this lovely evening? Hunting cryptids. What? What? I didn't know you had a dog. This isn't my dog. I found her wandering in the streets. I put a leash on her and now we're walking around this graveyard together. Hunting cryptids. Damien and I share a look. May I give her a treat? Sure. Wouldn't give her cheese, though. Not to worry. Damien reaches into the depths of his cloak and procures a small dog treat. What else is he keeping in there? The dog laps up the treat and crunches away, tail wagging furiously. Damien continues to smooth down her fur. Thanks. My absolute pleasure. Damien shakes the dog's paw. Lovely to meet you, my friend. May our paths cross again. Albert and his dog disappear into the darkness again. Damien stares after them. I didn't know you liked dogs. Victorians love dogs, actually. Most Victorian women of high fashion would always be accompanied by a small dog such as a terrier or a Maltese. Oh my god, me, I am a high Victorian woman. Let's go. I'm a high Victorian woman. I think big dogs are nice too. Yeah, man, dogs are cool. I do believe we've had enough excitement for one night. What say we make our way home? Damien hops to his feet and extends a hand to help me up. I gladly take it as my knees aren't what they used to be. He packs up his picnic basket and leads us out of the graveyard. As we begin to walk home, I take one last look at the cemetery. It really is beautiful. Like a proper gentleman, Damien walks me to my doorstep. Thank you ever so kindly for your company tonight. Damien, it was my pleasure. John, if you'll allow me, it would bring me great joy to offer you a token of my affection. Damien reaches into his cloak and pulls out a folded monogrammed handkerchief. He closes it into my hand. Wow. Thank you, Damien. I will use this to dry my tears for those I've lost. I can't wait to sneeze in this. Oh no. I'm going to wave this at passing ships. I don't know. I mean, I feel like the first one's more endearing. Does he want endearing? Oh no, he liked the passing ships one. Oh good. Okay. I approve. Damien shuffles his feet. I just want to say that it's rare to find someone like you. Someone who's open to my eccentricities. It's nice to feel so accepted. Um, thank you. Damien gives my hand a quick squeeze. Damien blushes and hastily retracts his hand. No! You guys gotta kiss! I must take my leave. Good night. No! Before I can say anything else, he's gone. Huh. I unlock the door and step inside. Like a whirlwind, Amanda runs from the window and plops down on the couch, trying to look nonchalant. Hey, Dad, what's up? Were you watching me from the window? No, I was just, Okay, yes. How was the movie? Lots of vampire titties. Told you. But, as it turns out, Damien is Wait, Amanda doesn't need to know that. I'll keep it between me and Damien. Scary cool. Yup, he's so cool, it's scary. Nice save, John. Did you know that graveyards used to be a place to throw parties? I think I'm misremembering that. Wow, that's pretty punk. Also, we saw a dog. Definitely thought it was a werewolf for a minute, though. How can you be sure it wasn't a werewolf? How can you be sure I'm not a werewolf? And how can I be sure you're not a werewolf? Amanda's eyes narrow. I don't trust you. Nor I you. We make intense, wary eye contact for a second. Anyway, I'm calling it for the night. Don't stay up too late, will ya? I'll try not to howl at the moon past midnight.
Are you familiar with the works of Corey Feldman? He simply slayed in Lost Boys.
Yay, still S rank. Well, it's been a long day. I'm just about ready to pack it in. After a few bites of ice cream from the freezer, I turn off all the lights and walk down the hall to my room. I wonder if Amanda's still awake. That kid needs some sleep. As I pass her room, I can hear a faint sound, but I can't quite make out what it is. I get a little closer. Is she crying? I knock gently on the door. Hey, Amanda? The crying immediately stops. Not right now. Her voice sounds a little strained. She sniffles. I need to make sure she's okay. I open the door. In the dark, I can see Amanda's outline in the middle of her bed, knees hugged up against her body. Is everything okay? I don't want to talk about it. Did something happen? No, nothing happened. Go away. Okay. Oh, let's leave her alone. All right, I'll leave you be. I back out of the room and close the door gently behind me. She immediately starts crying again. Whoa, I have no idea what has her so upset. She seemed totally normal. I feel awful just leaving her to cry. But I also get the feeling that if I tried to do anything else, it would only have made her more upset. I can't stop mentally cycling through all sorts of awful things she could be dealing with right now. More than anything, I just want her to be happy and safe. I have a hard time falling asleep, but when I finally do, I'm still thinking about Amanda. After a long night of very little sleep, I roll out of bed and make myself a pot of coffee. Amanda should be up for school soon. Maybe she'll be willing to talk about whatever is bothering her. About 10 minutes before she's supposed to leave, Amanda comes out of her room and makes a beeline for the freezer. Morning, Amanda. Morning. She drops a frozen waffle into the toaster and slams the freezer door. She won't look at me. Yikes. So, anything big going on at school today? No. Okay. Do you need a ride to school? No. Want some coffee? Amanda pulls the toaster lever and takes out her still freezer burned waffle out before it's finished cooking. I have to go. Amanda picks up her bag and storms out. Oh, okay. I haven't seen her act like this in a long time. It's usually short lived, but it always hurts. Hopefully hopefully this blows over and things are back to normal soon. I sit back at the kitchen table and look at a picture of Amanda and I hanging on the wall. In it, I'm teaching her how to ride a bike. Her face is a mixture of excitement and pure, unadulterated fear. I remember how determined she was. Every time she would fall off and scrape her knees, she would get back up and try again. Finally, I had to stop her because she was bleeding everywhere. Then she started to cry because she didn't think she needed bandages and wanted to keep trying. As I put the bike away, she stood in the middle of the street and screamed. Then I took her for ice cream, and it was like nothing even happened. After giving it a bit of thought, I decided that if I force her to talk about it, I'm only going to make things worse. But I have an idea. I start rummaging around for ingredients. I hear Amanda walk in the door. Instead of heading for the kitchen like she usually does, she makes a beeline for her room. She's clearly trying to avoid me. Hey, Pumpkin. What? Can you come here for a sec? There's a moment of silence. Yeah? I wanted to say sorry about last night. I'm just worried about you, kiddo. I get scared when I know something's wrong, and I get even more scared when I feel like I can't do anything about it. Dad, So just whatever it is, and you don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but whatever it is that you have. Okay, what? Oh, but whatever it is, just know that you have Dad in your corner who wants you to be happy.
Oh no.
Honey, you know I'm bad with words, so I was hoping I could speak a language we both understand. I pull a cake out of the refrigerator and place it on the table. Hopefully the frosting is set by now. Ta-da! Dad. It took me a really long time because I ran out of red frosting somewhere around sad and had to start over, and this is beautiful. Sorry you're sad, but I support you 100%. It's strawberry. Amanda gives me a big ol' hug. I grab some plates and forks and serve us up some delicious cake. So, it's really stupid. What is? This whole thing. I know I've been really weird lately, and there's just, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I might have to make you a chart. I'm listening. Do you want me to take notes? I guess I should start from the top. So, you know how Emma R is going to that fancy art school in California, right? Emma R, the one who puked in Dead Gotham Beyond, the best friend, the other one. Oh man, I'm gonna assume it's the best friend if we're talking about it. You got it, Dad. Wow, proud of you. Anyways, ever since she got the acceptance letter, I've been feeling like she's drifting away, you know? And she's been spending a lot more time with Grace and Emma P, and I thought it was all in my head for a while. But then I found out from Rosie M that both of the Emmas, Grace and Noah, all went to a party at Mackenzie F's house on the same night. They all told me they were busy studying for the Calc AB final. Yikes. So, another important piece of information is God, this is embarrassing. I have I have a crush on Noah and that's a thing. What? Whoa. I had no idea. I definitely didn't know that. Okay. You're a bad liar. So are you. I learned from the worst. Anyway, so the only person I told about the crush was Emma R, and she promised not to tell anyone. I didn't confront them at the about the party because I didn't want to start drama. So I kept quiet and kept going about my business. Amanda sighs. And then one day I invite everybody out to get nachos at the mall. And after not texting me back for like 2 hours, even though none of them ever put their phones down for more than 60 seconds, they all say they're busy, like simultaneously. So I tell them, never mind, I'll just eat nachos at home, right? But we were out of chips and I really, really wanted nachos. That's understandable, totally understandable. So I go to the mall anyway. I go to the food court, and who do I see there? But Grace, Emma P, Emma R, and Noah, all hanging out together and eating nachos without me. What? It gets better. I'm standing by the escalators watching them, and I realize that Noah has his arm around Emma R, which is kind of weird, right? But then they kiss. No. Yes, I know. So I storm over there and I'm like, hey. And Grace drops a nacho on her shirt because of course she does. And MR just like glares at me. Grace, Grace, nothing's coming up. I don't know who that is. Grace is the boring one, the gossipy one. Did she poop the bed too? Um, I don't remember anything about Grace, so we're gonna guess. We're gonna guess the gossipy one. Oh no, that I was wrong. Grace is the one no one really likes, or I guess that's me now. But anyway, nobody will say anything, and I'm just like, you guys suck, which I realize is not the most eloquent thing to say, but I was very angry and really embarrassed, and I just wanted to get out of there. So I left. Without nachos, might I add, which only further contributed to the shitty day, and immediately drafted a super long text to the group chat asking them why they've been so weird. And I wrote another one to Emma R asking how long the Noah thing's been going on. And sorry, I know that's a lot. You still following? What did Emma R say? I'm a little confused, but I think I understand. That's okay. You're trying. So what happens next? Oh, okay. Get a load of this. Emma R says, you know what? Let me just read it to you. Amanda pulls out her phone and reads, word for word, an arduously long string of text messages. Can you believe that? Welcome, Knapsack. Yeah, John's back. We're back with our dad and the daughter, and we're still pursuing the vampiric looking suitor. I cannot believe that. I care so much about Amanda's social life and mental well being, but man, do I not understand what she's talking about. This is all beyond me, but I'm trying my hardest to be supportive. They were dating in secret for like months. So I told her that she's been a really terrible friend. And she's like, well, if you think I'm so terrible, then just stop being my friend. And I was like, okay. And then she left me on red. And then, wait, left me on red? What's that? Oh, like she saw my message and didn't reply. And I know because there are red like sexy earring man. Yeah, I like the one oh yeah, you missed our, well, I guess this is like what, our second date. With the goth vampire Victorian man, we went to a cemetery and had a picnic in the park. We watched a scary vampire movie, which didn't actually go so well because apparently um he does not like scary things. He just likes the like Victorian aesthetic. So that's why we had the picnic in the graveyard. And he gave us interesting facts about Victorian lifestyle. I don't know what red receipts are, but I'm just gonna pretend I understand. Gotcha. So while this is all happening, I'm talking to Emma P about how mad I am because she's at least being kind of reasonable, and I'm venting to her about how pissed I am at everybody and stuff. And then out of nowhere, Noah texts me and is like, how could you say that about me? And I'm like, say what about you? And he tells me that Emma P sent screenshots of everything I told her to the group chat that I just got kicked out of. All right, I think you lost me at screenshots, but that definitely sounds bad. There's so much more, but honestly, it's all really stupid teenager stuff. The bottom line is that everyone dropped me and half my grade hates me, and now I have no friends. Amanda, I'm so sorry. I almost expected it from everyone else, but Emma R has been there since mom died. I can't believe she would just stab me in the back like that. I'm not even mad that she's dating Noah. I'm just upset that she lied to me about it for so long. Amanda stabs at the remnants of her cake. Okay, I take it back. I'm kind of mad she's dating Noah. Like, what did I do wrong? Why did everyone just suddenly decide I'm not cool anymore? Why wasn't I enough? I don't understand. And as mad as I am at everybody, like, I miss them, Dad. Amanda looks so dejected, I almost can't take it. What could I possibly say to help? Anyways, that's it. That's the whole sordid tale. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for more hot gossip. Wow. I know it's pretty dumb. It's not dumb. No, it's a stupid thing to be upset over. Amanda, your feelings are real. Don't ever be mad at yourself for having feelings. I guess. Unless you've secretly been a robot who's been approximating human feeling this whole time. Dad, if I were a robot, I would have transformed into a monster truck a long, long time ago. Just seriously, I know you probably don't want advice, but I feel like it's my duty as dad to bestow upon you a few nuggets of fatherly wisdom. Real friends don't do that. High school, I mean, honestly, yeah, high school sucks. Honey, high school sucks. You make friends with people just because they're there when you're still living in your hometown. That's a pretty small pool of people to choose from. But once you go to college and once you get out into the real world, you're gonna be exposed to all sorts of people, and it's gonna be easier to make friends with people who really get you. Some of those friendships can last a lifetime. I mean, look at me and Craig. And some of them only last a little while, and that's okay too. You're gonna make so many awesome friends at art school. But yeah, I agree. Let's go get the Emmas. Let's go get Emmas. Let's go get all the friends. Let's go get them and have dad chat with them. Sit them down and finger wag at them. Ultimately, I think this says way more about their character than it does about yours because you're amazing. And if they can't see that, well, that's their problem. I'll keep that in mind. I looked down at the table. Did we just eat that whole cake?
Huh.
Yes, we did just eat that whole cake. Well, good talk. Amanda gets up to go to her room. Before she closes the door, she turns around. Hey, Pops. Yes. Thank you. You are always welcome. Love you, Amanda.
I love you too, Dad.
Oh, I love you too, Dad.
Welcome. You've got dads.
All right, let's see what our third date with Damien has in store. Let's message him on whoops. Let's message him on Dad Book. Wait, what? Oh, you know what they say about their dates? They get pretty serious. You might not have time to... Oh, okay. So basically, once we get into this third date, we're like committing that we're going after Damien. Let's do it. So we won't have access to Dad Book to be able to talk to the other dads. That's fine. We've been on first dates with all of them, and now we are honing in on our goth Victorian men. Yeah, let's go. Ever since we had the picnic in the graveyard, Damien and I have been spending a lot of time together. We go on nighttime strolls pretty regularly. He was so impressed with the first letter I wrote him that he insisted we only communicate by post instead of through Dad Book. I initially protested, but he gave me one of his signet rings to use as a seal for my letters, and I just couldn't say no. Oh my gosh. So this man has given us a monogrammed handkerchief from him, and now we have one of his signet rings. Hanging out with the goth dad again? Please, Amanda, you know his name. And yes.
Ah,
Be honest here with me, Pops. Is he actually a vampire? I remember you inviting him into our household that one time, and I've seen The Lost Boys, and I honestly would have preferred trying to see if he could have walked through the threshold of our home under his own power. Yes, Amanda, I have become Damien's familiar. I am compelled under his curse. I'm sorry, sweetie.
oh.
Turn into a bat. I don't think. What's the point of being a vampire if you can't turn into a bat? Well, okay, I'm off.
Ah,
Are you taking the car or are you flying off into the night on the leathery bats of wings or wings of bats? One of those. While I'm out, can you throw away the garlic bread that's in the freezer so I don't die? That would be great. I'm keeping it in there as insurance. You understand, right? That's my girl. Those two's like relationship is so funny to me. Like it's funny to watch them banter back and forth. I love John. Yeah, I do too. I love John and Amanda. I'm like, yeah, you've definitely created that. Like seeing a lot of the way John speaks and like his humor and stuff. It's cool seeing that in his daughter and seeing them just like go back and forth together. Damien and I walk along the water's edge, chatting. Damien's cape, I mean cloak. He hates it when people call it a cape. Damien's cloak flutters behind him in the breeze. This is gonna seem like a silly question, but Why do goths wear black? Gothic subculture has always been associated with death, so it would make sense that the style surrounding it would be greatly influenced by mourning. Interestingly enough, though, was that in the Victorian era, Queen Elizabeth herself mourned the death of her late husband for 10 whole years, wearing black for the rest of her life. If that's not goth, I don't know what is. I love this man. I have another question. Go ahead. How are you so comfortable with death? You mentioned in the graveyard that it helps you appreciate your life or something? I've experienced several losses over the course of my life, and I truly believe that the only manageable way to cope with it is to accept that death is a simple part of living. It's the single universal truth for every human who has ever lived. I'm going to die. You are going to die. And life carries on without us. Doesn't that make you feel scared? Not at all. Without the advances of modern science, death was everywhere in the Victorian era, and yet funerals were major social functions. Victorians were obsessed with mementos of their loved ones, even going so far as to elaborately stage photographs of their dead relatives. The minutiae of mourning was so complex that there were set periods of grieving that were deemed acceptable based on who in your life had passed. Now, we don't have any of that. If you lose someone, you end up feeling lost yourself because we have no modern equivalent of these formalities. We need to allow ourselves time to grieve, to feel that loss fully, but not allow it to consume us. So, no, I'm not afraid of death. I believe it is a waste to spend your life dreading the end of it. The time we have here is brief and fleeting and occasionally cruel, but it is at all times precious. To stare death in the face and live despite that, I think is a noble existence. Let's save the mourning for the dead. Wow, that's beautiful. I can see the moonlight in the bay glint off Damien's eyes. He smiles. We turn to the harbor and watch ships pass by, breathing in the salty sea air. I look to Damien again and can't help but be entranced by his charms. He's a mystery. I find everything about him so fascinating. I lean in closer to Damien, closing my eyes as I do so. Gosh dang it! No! Y'all were supposed to kiss! I'm so sorry. I have to take this. Damien steps away from me to answer his phone. Oh no, I hope this isn't Lucien again. After speaking in hushed tones for a few moments, Damien returns to me. Everything okay?
Oh my.
There's an emergency. Lucien? No, thankfully, but I must take my leave. Oh, okay. Is there anything I can do to help? Dads do have to stick together, right? You know it. Then come. There isn't time to waste. Is that true about the Queen Victorian thing? Yes. Queen Victoria thing, yeah. Yeah, she wore black like the rest of her life. That's why most photographs of her are, yeah, her in black with like a mourning veil sometimes too. Check the nails. Yes, I love that he has black nails. I know. I get so excited. After a short drive in silence, we arrive at a rundown building on the outskirts of town. Where are we? It's better if I just show you. I push the surprisingly heavy door open and find myself in a dimly lit waiting room. A few rickety chairs line the walls, and there doesn't seem to be anyone behind the front desk. There are a few paintings and pictures on the wall, but they're so nondescript. I'm still unsure of what kind of place this even is. Wait here for a moment. I'll be right back. Damien walks off down a corridor, his boot heels echoing through the halls of the seemingly empty building. Distant howls echo from a place I cannot see, and there's a faint scratching sound, like claws on the tile. I cautiously peek down the hall and find stall after stall of scared-looking dogs. A few of them notice me and skitter up to the chain-link fence, sticking their noses out to sniff the air. What have I gotten myself into? Suddenly, the lights shut off. I panic, unsure of where I am or how I get out. I stumble through the darkness, my breathing getting heavier and heavier. Damien? The lights finally turn back on. Hey, sailor. Mary, what are you doing here? You aren't here for Fight Club? I don't want to get punched in the face. Great, because this is an animal shelter. A what? We take care of stray animals and then people adopt the stray animals. Didn't you see the pets when you walked in? Oh, sorry, I didn't really expect to see you volunteering at an animal shelter. Wow. Okay, kid. Way to put me in a box. Dames, you hear this baloney? Just one moment. Thunder cracks and a door busts open. Appearing from the shadows, I see... Damien? Oh my gosh. That's what Hot Vampire Man looks like. Not in goth attire. He still looks good. We got a ponytail. Look at this. He cleans up good. Hey. It's Damien. He looks completely different. No cloak, no Victorian era clothing, no makeup. I wasn't planning to share this side of me until much later, but I'm not as goth as you think. I'm a systems administrator for the IT department of a realty company. I wear tennis shoes to work, and I listen to Bruce Springsteen. I enjoy going to the hardware store and looking at storage solutions. And I volunteer at this animal shelter in my spare time. I'm boring. I'm fascinated with Victorian history and the goth lifestyle. That much is true. It's just not all that I am, and I need you to know that. Oh, I hate to kill the moment here, but there's some pressing business that needs attending to. Oh, right. It's Duchess Cordelia. Again? Who's Duchess Cordelia? She's one of the pups. Gets out all the time. She somehow learned how to open the doors, and now she's unstoppable. When'd she get out? This morning, I went to go sing sea shanties to the cats, and when I came back, she already bolted. What do you do with the drunken sailor? That was the first sea shanty that came to my mind. I have to stay here with the pets, so I need you two to go find her. Of course. Where could she be? She always ends up running off to the same places. Here, let me draw you a map. Mary starts scribbling on the back of a pet adoption form. She's very smart. Ruthless, even. You need to stay on your toes and get her back by sundown, or else she turns into a werewolf and starts eating people. What? You're a perfect little peach, John. We just don't want her to get stuck outside when it's cold. Oh,
Hmm.
I'll grab some treats. We can hit the road. Damien and I look over the map Mary created for us. Oh man, I'm Nerd's house? Let's see, we have the ocean or whatever, Bayside, aquarium shelter, softball field, coffee spoon, Mario, Batali, Kale. Oh my god. Okay, so she has nicknames for everyone. There's Coffee Dad, Nerd's House, Mary Sick Pad. Okay, Mary. Smalls, Dames, Other Nerd's House. Who's Other Nerd? I wonder who Other Nerd is. I don't think we've seen like an actual map of like their cul-de-sac to kind of figure out who these other people are. I know Kale's Craig. Coffee Dad is, I forgot his name, but the coffee shop owner. Mary Sick Pad would be Mary Sick Pad would be the blonde dad. Smalls, I don't know. Dames, I really don't know. Mario Batali, I don't know. I'm assuming Other Nerd's house would probably not be the like rugged looking dad. I don't remember his name either. Ooh, maybe would it be, I don't know. Huh. I was about to say, would it be the teacher maybe? But I think they are like, I thought they were like next door neighbors. Are they not? I don't know. But I love that she confused East and West and had to scribble it out and wrote shit. That was funny. At least you're not Other Nerd's house. Oh, that one's probably Damien then. Looks like you're moving up in the pecking order. Congrats, kiddo. Where should where should we head first? Cul-de-sac, coffee spoon, Bayside Aquarium. I mean, I guess we could go in order, maybe? Damien and I exit the parking lot and start driving toward town. I look over to him. He seems concerned. Shouldn't be too hard to find the Duchess, right? She's a pretty big pup. Mary wasn't kidding when she said the dog was smart. One time she correctly guessed the winner of the Kentucky Derby. It was a really great year for Bark Bark. I don't know. What do you think our odds are, John? Gotta stay positive. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. My dad once told me, John, you can't shove raisins up your nose. And that hurt my feelings. I felt discouraged, but I kept a positive attitude, and you know what? I made it happen. Ew. It might have landed me in the ER and forced me to have 10 golden raisins removed from my nasal cavity. But on that day, I learned that anything is possible if you have a good attitude and abnormally large nostrils. Young children are resilient, I suppose. Yes, young children. I was 16. Let's just hope for the best. We got this. We drive through the cul-de-sac and everything seems to be pretty normal. It looks like Brian's doing some yard work. We pull up to Brian's driveway and hop out. Hey, don't step on the grass. I just mowed. You seen any unusual activity in the area today? Aside from your underwater lawn? Oh, here we go. How dare you? I take my lawn care very seriously. John, please. You haven't seen a dog run through here, have you? Well, a little while ago I heard Maxwell barking at something. When I came outside, my garden had been torn to shreds. It's going to take forever to retill the soil. That could be a dog. or a rather feisty raccoon. Isn't it though? That was terrible date conversation. Like, no, I mean, granted, I guess, I don't know if technically, is their date kind of over now that he's helping him, like, John's helping Damien with, like, work, essentially? But they're still spending time together, so I mean, I guess it's still their date. Whatever it was, it must have been hungry. Ate all my tomatoes. I'm very sorry to hear about your garden. If you need assistance restoring it to its former glory, please do not hesitate to contact me. Will do, buddy. Good luck finding that dog. She's probably still hungry. I wonder if she's looking for more food elsewhere. Well, if she's looking for more food, let's look at the coffee spoon. We park in front of Matt's coffee shop and walk inside. It seems like a show day. Matt sits behind the counter, reading a book. Hey, Matt. I didn't expect to see you two today. What's up? Have you seen any stray dogs around? Actually, yeah. I caught one digging through the trash earlier. It ran away when I tried to get close, though. Did you see what direction it ran in? Matt thinks for a second. Might be running east, I think. That pup tore 3 pans of grateful banana bread. Want to take some for the road, just in case? Sure thing. Matt packages up a slice. Thanks for the slice. The road slice. This banana bread's gonna be so good. I think he meant to give it... I think he meant to give it to you for the dog. Right. I meant it's gonna be so good for the dog to eat. Does Damien like bears? I don't know. I don't think we really get a, like, or at least have gotten so far a vibe on, like, what his type is. I feel like we're on the right track. You think? If we keep this up, we'll find Duchess in no time. Hey, if you like dogs so much, why don't you have any? Lucien is severely allergic. I wouldn't put him through that. But there are still dogs in my life, so for that I'm grateful. There's about to be one more dog in your life, buddy. Splendid attitude. Let us not waste any more time. Verily. Okay, we're supposed to be going east, I think is what he just said. Let's see. Where are we? We're at the coffee spoon. So east of the coffee spoon would be like, what, the aquarium? Damien and I stopped by the aquarium. Everything looks in order here, but it might help to get out of the car and take a look. You see anything? No dog here. Not even any sign of her. You know that penguins are considered the goths of the sea? Damien, I want to believe you so badly. Okay, so nothing at the aquarium. We already went to the cul-de-sac. Is it gonna mean for us to go back to the cul-de-sac? Let's try. We arrive at the cul-de-sac to find everything looking normal except... Uh-oh. Hugo's front door is wide open. She can open doors. This is classic Duchess Cordelia, a telltale sign. We should approach with caution. Whatever goes down in there, I've got your back. We creep onto the porch and step inside. There, sitting in the center of Hugo's living room, like she owns the damn place, is one of the biggest dogs I've ever seen. Oof! Well, she hasn't broken anything in here yet. Wonderful. Now all we have to do is get the leash on her before she tries to escape again and get out of here before Hugo comes home. Easy peasy. Duchess, come here. The Duchess eyes Damien warily. As he approaches, she begins to growl. She's on her guard. We'll need another plan. Let's give her the grateful banana bread. I reach into my pocket and pull out a slice of grateful banana bread Matt gave me. Duchess sniffs the air and hones in on the bread. Come here, girl. Nice and easy. I've got some yummy homemade vegan and possibly gluten-free banana bread if that's what you're into. The Duchess cautiously approaches me and gives the bread a good sniff before gently taking it from my hand and dropping it on the ground, like dogs always do for some reason. She curls up and starts munching on the bread. Duchess is swole. Success! Damien walks up behind the Duchess and attaches the leash to her collar. She immediately notices and starts whining. It's time to go now, Duchess. Damien gives a tug on the leash. She won't move. Duchess, what happened to our rapport? You and I used to be bosom buddies. She still doesn't move. She's huge. There's no way we could even try to lift her. Well, this is a weird situation to be in. I think we're literally trespassing in our friend's house with this large dog. What are you nerds doing here? Ernest stands in the doorway with a plate of pizza rolls. Don't tell your dad about this. We're definitely not trespassing. It looks like trespassing. Well, yeah. It just looks like that. Damien, what are we doing? Trespassing? You do me in like that? The Duchess notices Ernest and starts pulling at the leash. Why is this dog in my house? It's along. The Duchess suddenly breaks free from Damien's grip and hurtles towards Ernest. Ah! Ernest and the Duchess fall on the ground. Pizza rolls fly everywhere. This is bad. Ernest, are you okay? Ernest feeds the Duchess pizza rolls. Hey, she likes pizza rolls. Ernest sits up and the dog keeps licking his face. Oh, hey. Hugo stands at the door looking like he's lost for words. Why are you guys, whose dog is this? It's a long story, but it involves a large dog who knows how to open doors. Woof! Hugo, may I present to you Duchess Cordelia? How do you do? Woof! We're friends. The Duchess licks Ernest's face. From the local animal shelter, she got out and we've been chasing her all around town. Your house was her final stop. Dad, can we keep her? Ernest, I don't know if we're up to taking care of a... Wait, did you just call me Dad? Come on, please. Look how cute she is. Hugo sighs. We had been talking about adopting a dog for a while. But you have to promise me you'll take care of her. Yeah, I'll give her all the pizza rolls her little heart desires. I suddenly remember what's on the back of the map and I pull out a pen of my pocket. Got the forms ready for you if you're interested. I'll even waive the adoption fees since, we technically broke into your household. Well, all right, it's a deal. Hugo steps onto the porch with us and signs the form while Ernest plays with the Duchess inside. He sure seems to be happy with his new friend. I know, he called me Dad. Can you believe it? Damien placed a hand on Hugo's shoulder. I certainly can. I think this will be really good for Ernest. It should teach him some responsibility. Great narration of the dog barking. Thanks, I guess. You should probably look into getting better locks on your doors, though. The Duchess is a wily one, but you do right by her and she'll love you too forever. Thank you. And long story short, the Duchess now lives in a happy home and neither of us were charged for breaking in and entering. So all in all, I think it was a fine day's work. Nice work, you two. John, you could be a valuable asset to our team of volunteers. You know, if you ever feel like petting some puppies, hit me up. Mary, I always feel like petting puppies. Good to know. Well, I'll catch you fellas later. Mary starts to leave. And one last thing. Damien's been telling me about you. Glad he finally brought you around. Oh, yeah. Damien's my special boy. I love him. We go way back, and I got an invested interest in his health, success, and well-being. If you ever hurt him, Mary, you can fill in the blanks. I gulp. Yes, ma'am. Mary leaves me alone with Damien. So, about the whole goth thing, I completely understand if you aren't interested in me anymore. What? Am I missing something here? I'm not a cool goth prince. I'm boring. I own 5 pairs of tennis shoes. I wear dumb glasses. Don't you care? He looks so nervous. Damien, do you really think I only like you because of all the goth stuff? That's cool. But the best thing about you is how passionate you are about the things you love. History, art, Victorian fashion, dogs, storage solutions. It doesn't matter what it is. You care. And that's awesome. This man has my whole heart. He loves all the things I love. Oh my god. And also, the glasses are very cute. You don't think I'm boring at all? If you're boring, then I don't know what that makes me. I spend too much time online shopping for flashlights. I get excited to mow my lawn on Saturdays. I get cranky about commercials being too loud. I've even been thinking about making my own peanut butter. Then maybe we can be boring together. It would never be boring if it was with you. Ah, these are so cute. You're so cute. Damien suddenly closes the gap between us and pulls me into a hug. He buries his face in my shoulder. His hair smells like lavender and rosemary. Oh my god, my favorite smell. Someone help me. I was so scared you wouldn't like me. Quite the opposite. Damien pulls away for a second and looks me in the eyes. Without the colored contacts, his eyes are so dark and soulful. May I kiss you? Of course! I'd love that. He smiles slightly and leans in, giving me a gentle kiss. Damien pulls away and gives me an intense look. Do you want to help me take care of the puppies? Yes. Damien and I arrive back at the cul-de-sac, our fingers intertwined. Like a proper gentleman, he walks me to my doorstep. This was lovely. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for everything. I'm very happy I can be myself around you. I'm glad, but I have one request.
Huh.
What's that? Can we keep sending each other letters?
Oh.
But of course. Damien kisses me one last time before turning around and heading home. Amanda runs back to the couch from the window and tries to look as nonchalant as possible. Hello, Father. I was sitting here on the couch this entire time. Hi, Amanda. So, are you guys like starting a vampire coven together? Oh, plot twist. Mothman. Damien's actually Mothman. I didn't see it coming either. Genius. Well, whatever's happening, I'm really glad you two are happy. You deserve it, Dad. Aw, shucks. I'm gonna head to bed. Catch you in the morning? Sure thing. I make my way to my room and fall into my bed with my heart full, excited for the days to come.
Simply marvelous.
Yay, another good date with Damien. Bitches be breaking in houses. Well, I mean, the door is open. I feel like my dad would love that dad tip. Please remember to call us once in a while. Yeah. I think I have everything finally set up. Amanda should be here any minute now. I think that's her car in the driveway. I gotta act natural. Be cool, John. Be cool. Amanda walks through the door with a suspicious look on her face. Hey, Dad. Off to a good start. Something fishy? Rats. What? No. Sorry, sweetie. It's the feds. That life of crime is finally catching up to you. I tried to send them in a different direction, but even I'm no match for the power and the funding of the US government. Well, if they think they're gonna take me alive, they got another thing coming. I'm kidding. You're right. I have a little surprise for you. Yeah, I can tell. You're very bad at lying. Amanda, dear, would you care to join me in the kitchen? Father, it would fill my heart with glee. I lead Amanda over to the kitchen table where a present lies covered under a tablecloth. It's nothing special, but I wanted to get you a little something. You graduated high school last week, and I know you told me not to make a big deal about it, but... Aw, Dad, you... I dramatically whip the tablecloth off the table. Amanda's jaw drops. No way! I figured you probably won't be able to catch cable in the dorm, so I thought it might be nice to take a piece of home with you. A DVD box set. Oh, a DVD box set of Long Haul Paranormal Ice Road Ghost Truckers? This is all 19 seasons! And bonus material, including commentary with actual ghosts featured on the show. Dad, I love this. Thank you. She gives me a big hug. I'm glad you like it. Hey, you want to hang out with me in the backyard for a bit? Toss the old pigskin or something? Totally. I follow Amanda to the back door.
Oh.
What? You told me not to make a big deal, but you seem to have forgotten that my entire mission in life is to make a big deal out of your accomplishments. So consider this your graduation party. Surprise! Dad, everyone's here. Well, yeah, everyone wanted to come and support you. Is that mac and cheese? A mac and cheese bar? Sure is. Fully customizable, down to the type of mac. And there's an ice cream cake. The good thing, the good kind with the crunchies in the middle. I don't know what to say. Don't say anything. Just go have fun with your pals, alright? I'm proud of you, Amanda. Amanda smiles and runs to her friends. I should make the rounds and make sure everyone's having a good time. But first, mac and cheese. I walk over to Mary, who's having a lively conversation with Amanda. We have a real fluffy Samoyed right now. His name's Harold. Loves belly rubs. He always tries to lick your face if you get too close. Mrs. Christensen, thank you so much for telling me in great detail about every single dog currently in the animal shelter. Please tell me about the Afghan with the 3 legs again. Sure, Quadro, we call him. It's one of those ironic nicknames. You know, if you're really interested, I could probably steal one for you. Really? Nah, but I could get you in to meet all of them. We could always use the extra hands around the shelter. And if those extra hands also happen to steal a dog, I'm glad you two are able to bond over cute dogs. Really warms my heart. Dad, we're having a moment. Hey, Sailor. Your kid's a good egg. Where's your goth prince? You two are usually attached at the hip these days. He's around. Stellar. Mary turns her attention to Amanda. It's not too hard to sneak a dog into college. Trust me, I did it plenty back in the day. At one point, I had 3 cats living in my dorm. I decided to leave them to it. All of a sudden, a huge dog leaps up into my arms. Duchess! Hugo and Ernest run up to me. The Duchess gives my face a few broad licks and hops down.
I don't know.
We're working on that. Got her in a disciplinary class. She's a wild spirit who runs where she may. I don't mind at all. Looks like the 3 of you are getting along nicely. She's a valuable addition to our clan. If I hold up my homework in front of her, she'll eat it. Cool. We'll deal with that later. Duchess Cordelia spots a squirrel and darts across the yard. Ernest follows her, laughing. He's actually been a lot more manageable lately. I think taking care of the dog is good for him. Thanks for breaking into my house, I guess. Anytime. John! Brian, you made it. I don't pass up on good mac. What do you think of the party? It's not bad. Just not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. Don't let him bait you. Don't let him bait you. Thank you for the lovely compliment. Daisy trots up. Hi, Amanda's dad. Hey, Brian's daughter. See? See how that feels? This is a really great party. Thank you so much for inviting us. You're very welcome, tiny child who knows how to pay a compliment. Brian and I lock eyes. This isn't over. Hey, bro. Bro. This is a real rager. Taking our old age into consideration. I'm trying to be in bed at a reasonable hour tonight. Don't let me get too wild. Don't worry, dude. I'll keep an eye on the fruit punch intake. You know, I'm really glad we're bros again. Let's hit the gym sometime soon, huh? Sure thing, dude. Brian and Hazel peek out behind Craig. Hi, little ones. Hello. Hiya. Thank you for all the ice cream cake. Wait, girls, how much of that did you eat? Briar ate 4 pieces. Ask any witness. No, I didn't. Hazel ate 4 pieces and wants to pin it on me because we look alike. I have your face. No one will ever believe you. Oh boy. I'll let you guys figure this out. Good seeing you, Craig. Let's hang out soon, yeah? Totally. Tell Amanda congrats for us. Looks like you've settled into the neighborhood quite nicely. Yep, couldn't ask for a better cul-de-sac. Well, I'm glad. Hopefully we'll see you at more church events. We got a big schedule planned for the rest of the year. Sure thing, Joseph. And maybe if you aren't doing anything later, we could hang out sometime. Sure, Joseph. That'd be great. Well, see you later. Hugo comes up to me with a plate of mac and cheese. The perfect cheddar to mac ratio. Beautiful work, John. Thanks, Hugo. You know, I'm really pleased to see Amanda going to her dream school. I'm glad she turned it around for finals. Me too. That scholarship money will really help. Amanda walks by and pretends not to see Hugo. Amanda, come say hi to your old teacher. Hey. Congratulations on graduating. I know you're going to do great things at art school. Yeah, thanks. Amanda starts to back away. Wait, I just realized that you're not my teacher anymore, so I don't have to be afraid of talking to you. You no longer hold power over me. You're right. Go forth, adult. I can no longer give you detention. Yeah, I'm gonna break anything I want, and there's nothing you can do about it. Are you still mad about the time I gave you detention for breaking my globe? Nope. And I'll have you know that that globe didn't even fit through the basketball hoop in the first place. So, she'll fit into college just fine. Hey. Hey. Robert gestures vaguely to the snack table. Good stuff. Yep. See you later. Hey, man. Matt. Let me know when Amanda leaves for college. I'll have a fresh batch of grateful banana bread ready for her. Man, this game's gonna make me want some banana bread so bad. Thank you. I know she'll love that. Hey, Amanda's dad. I turn to spot Lucian walking up to me. Yes, Lucian? Thanks for inviting me to your party. Anytime, bud. I know we had a rocky start, but I'm glad to know you. I hope you know how much your dad cares about you. Yeah. My dad's had a rough couple of years, and I know it must not have been easy to raise me alone. He's kind of a weird guy, but I love him a lot, and it seems like you make him happy. So, you're cool in my book. Thank you, Lucian. Means a lot to me. Sure. And let me know if you want me to give you a stick and poke sometime. Thanks for coming by, Lucian. See you around, John. He said if you want like a homemade tattoo, let me know. As the party starts to wind down, I take a seat on the back porch step. The sun is setting and everyone seems to have eaten their fill. Amanda wanders over and sits down next to me. Killer party, Pops. What can I say? I was inspired. So, I, um, I also have something for you. For me? Why? Not to be completely genuine about my feelings for once or anything, but growing up wasn't easy. But it could have been a lot harder if it wasn't for you. Dad, you've been there for me through everything. There's there's been times in my life where you were my only friend. I was really scared of going to college and being so far away from you, but I realized that everything you've done for me has been to prepare me for this, and I'm ready. I wouldn't be who I am today without you. Don't cry, don't cry. I swear to God, John, if you cry again, you're the best, Dad. I love you. And I'm crying. Anyway, that was enough emotional vulnerability for one day. Present time. Amanda hands me a tiny wrapped package. I tear the wrapping off to find a framed picture of me and Amanda. It's us. Kinda shocking all of our photo albums are just pictures of me, huh? I figured we needed at least one together before I leave. Amanda, thank you. Watching you grow up has been the happiest experience of my life. You're such a talented, intelligent young woman, and I'm so excited to see what the future holds for you. Knock 'em dead, kid. Always do. Amanda and I share a hug. This is only the beginning, Pops. Plenty more memories for us down the road. Memories to make and stuff to break, right? Oh, I'm gonna break so much stuff. Intentionally and unintentionally. You're probably gonna have to pay for most of it. It would be my honor. Amanda hops up. Looks like someone's been waiting to talk to you. I glance over at the backyard where Damien's sitting on a bench beneath our cherry blossom tree. He smiles at me. I'll leave you to it. Me and the Emmas are gonna go get ice cream. Love you, Pops. Amanda runs off to join her friends. Yay, she has friends again. I take a seat next to Damien as the last guest makes their way out of the party. Did you know that in Victorian era they would call benches seedy boys? What? Really? I'm kidding, John. But what if? It's good to see you and your civvies again. Thank you. I had a revelation the other day, John, and I think it was largely due in part to your continued influence upon me. There was a version of myself that might have been embarrassed to show you my true form. My information technology form. But what you said about me, about how my passion was what you truly admired, that emboldened me to feel like myself regardless of how I choose to dress or act. Instead of separate entities, they simply different facets of myself, a three-dimensional human being with his own thoughts, wants, and needs. I love dressing the way I do, but feeling constricted by what I thought was my own personal brand made me lose sight of why I did this in the first place. To make myself happy. I place my hand on Damien's and feel a light squeeze. Looking up, I'm greeted by Damien's warm smile. I'm trying to be more comfortable with who I am, rather than dwelling on what I could be to other people. I can't stop smiling. I'm so proud of him. Damien, I'm so happy you've realized that you can be a dog-loving goth. Me too, John, me too. I feel myself inching closer and closer to Damien. I go to brush a lock of hair out of his face and am shocked by how soft it is. How is your hair so soft?
Oh,
Dog shampoo. I keep running my hands through his hair as he leans closer to me, placing a hand on the side of my face. He strokes my cheek with his thumb.
oh.
You know, public displays of affection were considered scandalous in the Victorian era. Damien pulls me in for a kiss,
Oh.
but I think I can make an exception for you. They are so adorable. I literally cannot. Oh my gosh. I literally cannot. But yeah, so that's the end of the game. At least uh that route. That's the end of that route. Um I don't know if I will go through the other routes maybe. I mean, I guess I have time to do it before the end of Pride as long as, I actually get on here and stream.